you doing today? My name's Eric. As always, I want to thank you for taking a couple minutes and checking out my video today. On this episode of Smo'King, I'm going to show you how to do corned beef and cabbage in the Instapot. Now, I absolutely love corned beef and cabbage, especially around this time of year, and especially today because it's St. Patrick's Day. Now, I've done a couple videos with corned beef and cabbage in the past. I'll leave links below. I did one in the sous vide bath for many hours, came out great. And I also hung one with a hook in my pit barrel cooker and smoked it, and that came out absolutely delicious as well. But I know a lot of my viewers might not necessarily have a sous vide or a smoker, and that's why I'm going to be using the Instapot, because that's a relatively new cooking device that seems to be very popular and a lot of people have it. So, you know how it is, very basic here. The main ingredient is a corned beef. I got a 3-pound, store-bought, already pre-packaged, ready-to-go corned beef. I got some red potatoes, an onion, a head of cabbage, some carrots, and then the liquid we're going to use is Guinness Stout beer. You don't have to use beer, you can use a beef stock or even water, but you know what? I think it adds a little bit of flavor. So stick around, I'm going to show you how to cook this step by step. Let's get cooking. Alright, so the first thing we're going to cook is the corned beef. The vegetables and the cabbage are going to come after we're done cooking the corned beef. Now, I've taken a regular old onion and cut it in quarters. I got around a tablespoon of minced garlic. I got my can of Guinness beer. And then I have my 3-pound corned beef here. The spice packet is already on there, okay? So you want to take that little device that comes, I guess they call it a trivet. You're going to put that in first with the handles up. Now we're going to add the beer. And like I said, you don't need to use a beer. You can use, regular old chicken stock, beef stock. You can even use water. But like I said, I like the flavor of the beer, especially on today. You know, Guinness is a good beer to drink or cook with on St. Patrick's Day. Okay, so we put the beer in there. Now I'm just going to put the quartered onions kind of at 12 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. Just like so. And now I'm going to take my tablespoon of garlic. I'm going to kind of sprinkle that on top of the onions. There we go. And then last but not least, we're going to take this beautiful corned beef and place it on top of the onions. Now I'm going to put the fat side down just because I think it's going to be better to kind of get some of that fat to kind of get a little bit more of that steam and bubbling beer. Once we get that going, I just wanted to give you guys a look before I seal it up and start cooking it. Not very complicated. So there you go, that's about it. We're going to seal this up. Make sure your vent is completely sealed. And now, this recipe, the cooking time I'm recommending is for a 3-pound corned beef, which is 70 minutes. If you have a 4-pound or a 5-pound or whatever size, you want to add around 5 to 10 minutes of cooking time for each additional pound of corned beef. This is going to be cooked pretty good. It's not going to be completely fall apart tender like you would get in a slow cooker or crock pot. If you like it that consistency, instead of going 70 minutes, go all the way up to 90 minutes, okay? So we're going to put this on high pressure. Let's see here. Pressure level. As you can see, 70 minutes actually is an hour and 10 minutes. There we go. It's come on. Now I just let this do its thing. We'll be back shortly. All right, while we wait for that corned beef and that Instapot to heat up, time for a beverage review. I bought a 4-pack of Guinness for this recipe, so that's what I'm reviewing today. They're a regular stout. I think everyone's heard of Guinness. It's kind of a famous beer. And this is my son Kyle. Say hi.
Hi.
He's going to be reviewing something. He's had a couple of this company's sodas in the past. Jones Cane Sugar Soda. This is green apple soda. Pretty good stuff. Since '96. So that's what he's having. All right. You going to be able to open it up and pour it yourself?
Yeah.
Now these are kind of cool, the Guinness, because they have a little widget inside. Because, it's hard to explain if you never had it. It's got like this creamy head that's different from other beers. This being so dark.
Why are we reviewing something you've already had?
Oh, because some people might not have had it. And it's St. Patrick's Day, so.
But couldn't they just look back at your first video?
I don't even know. I think I reviewed it in one of my videos. I'm not sure if I did, but you know what? In either case, no reason why I can't have another one. I'll tell you what I think. All right. And you can see it's a very unusual, you can see it, well, I don't know if you can see it here, I'll put it down, maybe you can see it, but it's going to start, the bubbles are going to rise, it kind of like drops from the top and it gets darker and darker. And the way they make this is it fills a pint glass perfectly. All right. Ooh, I smell apple.
I know for a fact that you wouldn't know so much about it if you haven't had it.
No, it's a famous beer, Kyle. It's, if you know anything, yeah, I mean, this is probably the most famous stout beer in the world, I would have to say.
Anyways.
As always, guys, I appreciate you watching. Cheers. Cheers, Kyle. That looks cool. I like that color. I wonder if it's sour. Is it like a sour green apple? Give it a shot.
I love the smell.
Yeah, this is good. I mean, most of you guys watching probably have had this. It's this kind of creamy taste, and the beer itself is very thick and stout, kind of like a little coffee thickness to it. I mean, it's an acquired taste, but once you get used to it, it's very good. Oh, I like that. Okay, how about you?
It's pretty good.
Just pretty good?
I like this.
Yeah, I always get concerned with him and soda when it says natural cane sugar soda. Usually means in around a half hour he'll be bouncing off the wall. Let's see what's in here. It just says natural flavors, citric acid, pure cane sugar, carbonated water.
Yeet.
You always got to get that last drop out, huh? Alright guys, this hasn't even come up to full pressure yet, so we have plenty of time to enjoy our drinks. We'll be back in around 70 minutes when we take out the corned beef and add the vegetables. Until then, I'm going to drink this. Cheers, Kyle.
Don't.
We'll see you in a little bit, guys. Thanks. Alright, we want to just do it for 20 minutes after the timer's counted down, and that's the time when we're going to release the pressure. So it's going to take a couple minutes for that to release. We'll be back in a second. Alright, took a couple minutes for that to release all that steam. Let's take a look and see how it's looking. Alright, there we go. Oh, I'm just going to let that vent just for a little bit because it's really hot right now. Be back in a second. Alright, now just try to carefully remove the corned beef and put it on some kind of platter here. Don't be concerned if it looks like it shrank a little bit, because it definitely did. There we go. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to cover it with a piece of foil. And we're just going to let this hang out until we get the vegetables cooked. Okay? So I'm going to put this over here. Now I have my baby red potatoes and carrots. I'm going to put the potatoes in first. And be careful because this liquid is very hot. So don't want any of it splashing up and burning you. Okay. I think I got around 1.5 pounds of potatoes. You don't have to use the red potatoes. You can use like a regular Idaho potato or something like that. But just cut them into smaller pieces. Then we got a bunch of carrots here. We're going to put on next. Cut up in little pieces. And then I just took a head of cabbage and I kind of sliced it into like 5 or 6 different wedges. You can leave the core on there just because it helps hold everything together. So then carefully try to stick that cabbage in there. Easier said than done. Wish I had a little bit bigger Instapot. I think this is the 8-quart. Oh boy, it's going to be difficult, huh? let's see, I think we could do it. Wedge that one in there. All right, just like that. Now we're gonna, if you want to cancel it, we're gonna do high pressure cook again. Now you're gonna hold it down until we get to 8 minutes. All right, make sure you've sealed the vent. And that's it. It's gonna take like 10, maybe 12 minutes before it actually starts cooking. I know 8 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but yeah, 8 minutes, we'll be back in 8 minutes. All right, so this has been building up pressure for maybe like 12, 13 minutes, a very long time. And then I realized I put a bunch of potatoes out of the fridge, carrots and cabbage. The cabbage was above the fill line, even though it sealed right there, maybe around 3-4 minutes ago. The timer hasn't started, but I'm anticipating it starting any second now. Any case, you know what? I did 8 minutes. I'm going to cut it down to 5 because I think it's going to be too long with this pressure being built up. All right, it finally clicked over to the timer. But you know what? I'm going to lower it to 5 because, like I said, it must have took 20 minutes for that thing to seal up and finally do the countdown. And like I said, I overloaded it. I got the smaller Instapot, and yeah, the cabbage is probably going to be overcooked, but I think we're good. All right, it just hit 5 minutes, beeping. We're going to do a quick release right now. Oh. All right, it's been 4 minutes plus. It's finally calming down. You know what? I probably overloaded it. That cabbage, my wife reminded me, hey, did you fill it past the fill line? I'm like, yeah, I think the cabbage was above the fill line. Maybe that's why it took so long, but I think 5 minutes now instead of 8 minutes is going to be perfect. So I think we're safe. I'll do this cautiously. Whew. All right. Now you don't want to leave this stuff in too long. Okay, here's the cabbage. Yeah, it's definitely tender, but it doesn't seem like it's falling apart. Alright. Now for the potatoes, I'm going to use a slotted spoon here. Whoops. And some carrots we'll put in here as well. We can separate this a little bit. Yeah, everything looks like it's cooked perfectly. Be careful because there's a lot of steam and this liquid in here. Ooh, it's still very, very hot. All right, here we go. I'm just going to slice it. We'll see. This obviously has shrunk a little bit. You want to go against the grain. Oh, it looks good. It smells so good. Ever since we opened up that that vent. Oh man. There we go. Let's see if I can get a little thinner. Let's just see if I can show you right there. I don't know if you can see the juice there. Boy. Alright, let's slice a few more pieces. Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with my son Kyle, my wife Monica. Okay, I got some chopped up here, and I got some horseradish here. I know Mom and Dad like the horseradish. Kyle, not so much. Ooh. Pull that piece off.
Came out good.
Wow.
It's got a lot of flavor.
A lot of flavor. And, you know, I still like smoking it or cooking it sous vide, but you know, when you can cook it in a couple hours versus, you know, 24 plus hours, or even if you smoke it, you're going to spend 4 or 5 hours. This is a really easy, quick way to do it without having to go outside. So
it's good.
All right, I'm going to try some.
It is a good alternative.
You want to try some carrots, Con? Definitely make sure to pour some of that juice on top.
Oh wow, that's good.
Because it definitely adds that flavor. The potatoes, I could just cut with a fork here.
I'll just take the teardrop potato. Yeah, it came out good.
Wow.
You could have gone a couple minutes less maybe.
Well, the only thing that's
With the
bad
cabbage.
with this is the cabbage. It does overcook a little bit.
But you know what? The
potatoes.
potatoes could have probably gone a couple. It's still good. But I'm just saying that if you do it a couple minutes less, it'll be perfect. But the flavor is amazing.
No, I mean, to be able to cook this in such a short amount of time, they're very, very good. As always, guys, I appreciate watching my video. If you like it, please hit the like button. I would love it if you would consider subscribing. And I'll leave a link above to my website, ericsmokingbbq.com. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
That's your bye?
That's your bye.
Say your bye.
Bye. Come on.
Bye.
Say bye. This is good. You like that?
Wow.